So last night, Shy Ryan shared this tweet with me, which is just WTF from Brendan Eich. And apparently FireFox has changed a lot in the last 24 hours, and they're a public open source company, which means that you get to see exactly their changes, and their changes are hilarious and completely unhinged.
For those of you who don't know, because Firefox occupies such a small market share,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be a privacy-centered browser competing against the big tech giants.
It's the big tech giants who are ruining the industry. Therefore, they made an open source browser that you can trust
and are protected in.
And they value you.
Over profits.
Over
That's what it says. We'll find out. We're going to see that soon.
So let's check out exactly what has happened. And honestly, we've done a little bit of pre-reading on this one.
Did a little pre-reading. We wanted to make sure we get our facts straight.
Yeah. Because you know how sometimes there's like these salacious stories that come out, and then it ends up being actually not salacious at all. Like, Rust is 120 times faster. And then you read it, and it's just like, well, actually, it's just this one condition in which they're comparing against like BASIC or something. You're like,
yeah,
oh, okay.
Or like Sam Altman tweets AGI's been achieved internally, and then they release GPT-2.
And that did happen. But anyways, so you get the idea. We actually want something that was pretty good, because this is obviously this is just wild.
That quote, just read the quote here, because this part's where it goes crazy.
When you upload or input information through Firefox, you hereby grant us a non-exclusive, royalty-free, worldwide license to use that information to help you navigate, experience, and interact with online content as you indicate with your use of Firefox. LLMs being trained on your data?
I'm sure that once you've opened the gate to track everything you've uploaded or input into the browser, they're only going to use it to help you.
This has never gone wrong. Okay, it's not like, that's the point of the Patriot Act, is to help you explore the world.
It's to save the Patriots.
It's to save the Patriots, right? This is how this works, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, anyway, so let's go deep onto this, because it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yes.
So this actually broke yesterday, or... Yeah, this broke technically yesterday. 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So this is they've introducing a terms of use and updating privacy notice for Firefox. All right, we're introducing a terms of use for Firefox for the first time, along with an updated privacy notice. The terms of use also decently out there. We're going to go through that one.
Yeah.
Why now? Although we've historically relied on our open source license for Firefox and public commitments to you, we're building in a much different technology landscape today. We want to make these commitments abundantly clear and accessible. In other words, they were for you. Now they're for something else.
We should probably mention why is Mozilla feeling the need to suddenly find ways to monetize?
Yeah, I guess if you haven't been paying attention to the news, Google has recently been getting hit in the courts.
Big time.
Big time. And so one of the big things is that having these deals with every single browser to be the default search kind of makes them a monopoly. It's very reminiscent of Internet Explorer being the thing that's installed on Windows when you purchased it by default. Actually also led them to an antitrust lawsuit, which means they actually had to sell Windows without Internet Explorer. That was actually the resolution of it, which is so stupid. Anyways, so not that we get 100% of them correct, but this one is just that no browsers can't default to Google, and so Firefox, well, they largely depend on Google for the revenue. Almost like, what is it?
Well, it seems to be from a little bit of preliminary research that I did in the last few years, it's usually between 80 to like 87% of Mozilla's revenue is Google paying them to put Google as the search browser.
As the default search browser.
Yeah.
So
only the default, to be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one can imagine that Mozilla is probably going to be losing some money from this deal. So they need to
scrambling.
They scrambling. So they're trying to find some alternative ways. So actually, I just want to get to the real good part.
Yeah.
Which is this is exactly what how do we want to say it? This is exactly what Mozilla has changed. This is exactly what they went from to where they're going to. So all the headlines, this is what it's being derived from, and the changes in here are exceptional.
Can we leave comments? Knit. I don't think this was a good idea. Can you imagine? Can you imagine seeing this like knit? Nah. Knit. I would change the wording back to the original. Anyway, so this is like their real repo. This is one of the I would say problems from the business side of being open source is when you make changes like this, you can just literally look at what they changed.
Yeah. All right, so if Firefox, what is this? Terms of use.
Yep.
It goes from always protected from the best privacy.
Yeah, so it was best privacy, right? They're rolling out terms of use, right? So now you used to have the best privacy, but now you're protected.
You're protected.
Yeah.
The protection is high.
Which is honestly, could you get a more Big Brother look than that? Like, there's no more turn of phrase. Like, before, we're going to make sure that we don't know anything about you. We can't know anything about you. Now, don't worry, we're going to protect
We
you.
got your back. Don't worry. You don't even need to worry about anything else. We love you.
Yeah.
All right. So let's what was is Firefox is independent and part of the not-for-profit Mozilla.
They do that part really well. The
which-
not-for-profit.
They're really just not
They
profiting.
are not for profiting.
They are one of the best customers at this. All right, which fights for your online rights, keep corporate powers in check, and makes the internet accessible to everyone, everywhere. We believe the internet is for the people, not profit. I can't imagine what they've changed this to. I haven't read this part yet. Unlike other companies, we don't sell access to your data. You are in control over who sees your search and browsing history. All that and exceptional performance too. Actually, I will say that Canvas stuff, when you're developing for Canvas, Firefox is a treat to develop in Canvas. And I find, at least on Linux, and I find Google Chrome to be really awful. All right, so this seems like this is a pretty good phrase, right? They're trying to say, hey, we've made this for you. Maybe they should have fought a little bit for profit, like maybe
like
sort of for profit.
Not for profit, but also not for losses.
Yeah.
Like, we're both. We want to be in that sweet spot.
Yeah. All right, switch. So if we have the terms of if we have that one. So this is
the old one is the same.
the old one is the same, but if you're on the new one, Firefox is independent and part of the not-for-profit Mozilla, which fights for your online rights, keeps corporate powers in check, and makes the internet accessible to everyone, everywhere. We believe the internet is for people, not profit. You're in control over who sees your search and browsing history. All that exceptional performance.
There's a sentence missing in there suddenly.
So obviously,
In case you couldn't tell.
so if one's not like the other. Can you guess where the not like the other is?
Let's play Spot the Difference, chat. Can we get some cots in the chat?
Huh, it seems like unlike other companies, we don't sell access to your data is suspiciously missing.
Dude, it's literally like you could not have a more caught moment than this, dude.
It's so good. You know what's even
Oh,
crazier
no.
is that it actually gets worse.
Okay, yeah.
It actually gets worse. All right, let's keep on going. So they have some product landing stuff. Okay, that seems fine.
Yep.
Some more of this. Yep, the Firefox. Okay. Yep. Okay, so all that. I mean, I can't believe what is this templating they're using? I don't know. Some
I don't know.
template.
Ginger, maybe. Who
Okay,
knows?
look at what they removed here. Type, question, name. Does Firefox sell your personal data? Answer, nope, never have, never will. Look at this. That's insane. I would say that this is better than when Google removed Don't Be Evil. Right?
Dude, I still think, how can you think it's a good idea to remove Don't Be Evil? That's on the same level of dumb, because it's like, actually it's more dumb, because Google can just say, well, we're not evil. That one's like, you know,
Easy.
they'd be like, in
We
our
can keep that
subjective
up.
opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is more blatantly bad, though, because it's just objectively.
And look, they removed this in the end. That's a promise. Oh, Firefox, I heard promises they're things you keep, like you don't break.
No, you're getting confused. It was like a JavaScript promise, and now it's being rejected.
It's this is a JavaScript promise. It's rejected. I mean, okay, that makes
There's
sense.
two options every time. Right?
Let's see. And we protect you from many of the advertisers who do. Oh, they don't do that anymore. Firefox products are designed to protect your privacy. Also now officially gone. All right. All right. Brand name. Okay. Fire TV is just gone, apparently. I'm not sure what that one is.
There's some bad ones here.
All right, let's keep on going. All right, brand name Firefox browser, the only major browser backed by a not-for-profit, helps you protect your personal information. Learn about it more here. Okay.
Can't wait till they have to change that because Ladybird becomes a major browser.
Yeah, when Ladybird becomes a major browser, it's gonna be awesome. Let's see. Okay, Firefox. Yep, the Firefox browser is free, super free actually, no hidden costs or anything.
No, but notice this. So here's where they have an obsolete string. So they're saying this first one now obsolete. This is now the new one that they're going to use.
Oh,
right?
so I'm misreading this. So okay, let's go back up here and let's read this again.
So
the old one,
mysteriously missing.
Yeah, the obsolete string that expired just a couple days ago is the only major browser backed by a nonprofit. Okay, that seems pretty reasonable. That doesn't sell your personal data to advertisers while helping protect your personal information. Let's read this again. Oh yeah, helps protect your. Oh, wait a second. There's like this middle part right between here and here. What happens in between those two spots?
And then you'll see each of these, the same thing happens. So the next one, we just go down. Obsolete string, yep, the Firefox is free, super free actually, no hidden costs or anything. You don't pay anything to use it, and we don't sell your personal data.
There's no and anymore. Where's the and? Oh my gosh, this is so good. This is so dang good.
And then, look, they had to obsolete the string for do you sell your data because they're not going to have the question anymore. So that one's just gone.
Oh, hold on. This actually expires in April, right?
Yeah, but that's when it comes into effect.
Okay, in April. Okay. Let's see. Oh, obsolete? Does it sell?
Because they're not asking the question anymore. And then this one is the worst one.
All right, obsolete. Never, nope, never. Dude, imagine obsoleting this. This is too good.
Oh, making a variable named nope, never have, and then obsoleting it.
There is just something so incredible about this. This is wild to see this happening.
And it's so funny that it's in just a public repo.
I mean, this is one of the beauties of open source, right? Like,
it is.
Sometimes with open source,
I mean,
it's open.
In a sense, wouldn't it be fun if we had all of Google's changes too? It's not to uniquely point out Firefox for it. Like, man, can you imagine if we got to see the diff where they removed "Don't be evil" and then see everything else they changed in the same PR for Google?
Well, no, Google. So Google has like an old backstory of the internet is that Google changed its original terms of services when they decided to go into advertising.
Okay.
And they actually went back and edited their very first one they released because they actually had a history. And they tried the 1984 and removed some spots, but the Wayback Machine showed the difference.
Yeah.
And it was like, track your location. And like that one was removed. And there's like all these like little hidden things, like they made these guarantees they couldn't do. And so to be completely fair, Firefox is not the first one to go back and actually like kind of lie about things. Mozilla doesn't sell your data, doesn't sell data about you in the way that most people think about selling data. And we don't buy data about you. Since we strive transparency and legal definition of sale data. By the way, whenever you have to say the legal definition of something to make your case.
It's pushing it. Yep.
Yeah, you typically aren't in a good spot. It's extremely broad in some places.
Yep.
We have to step back from making the definitive statements you know and love. We will still put a lot of work into making sure the data that we share with our partners, which we need to make Firefox commercially viable, is stripped of any identifying information and is only shared in aggregate or put through the privacy settings. Remember, they went from not sharing and saying they're definitely not doing anything to doing this. Like, this is just the thing that happens every single time.
Regardless, it is literally still selling data.
They're selling data.
So they are using you as the product, right? That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
They're saying it's going to be the anonymized version of you, right? But like it is still, so they're like, sure, we're not selling it like Google, where we track you to every website and do all this other stuff. Sure. But like, am I wrong, chat? Am I wrong in that understanding?
I think that you're also missing the next part, which is that when we get to the final part over here, that they are, I mean, they literally are pre-preparing for that eventuality by saying that Mozilla grants you a personal non-exclusive license to install and use the executable code version of this. Oh, hold on. Where's
That's not the one you're thinking of.
Yeah.
But you're thinking that's going to be in a different tab. This one, the interesting part is going to be about what they're going to put in the new tab.
Yeah, it's this one right here.
Yeah.
Anything that you do, any input that you give, anything that you upload. So if you upload your hard-worked whatever piece of content,
Yeah.
You and Firefox have the non-exclusive royalty-free worldwide license to your content.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but
you
like,
know where this ends. Like
yeah.
this is not a crazy leap to make.
even regardless of that, though, like they are selling your data.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, sure, it's anonymized. Right? But, or like hypothetically anonymized. We'll see if LLMs can't de-anonymize. You know, like we actually don't really know. And they're still collecting the data. Companies have never had errors in their data collection or anything.
Or
right?
data breaches.
Right. So it is not just like technically true. It's just literally true. They are selling data. They just admitted it in that thing, right?
Yeah, they are just literally selling data.
So,
all right, so I guess we move on to the next one. Dude, this is just so good.
That one's tough.
Imagine making a promise and then just removing it.
Yep. Right, which is literally, I mean, that's what they said, never have, never will. Because it is literally true. So I feel Firefox will probably say we're not selling personal data because it's anonymized.
Yeah.
That's what I think they would say.
Yeah.
But then I would just say, like, it's still my data.
It's still my data,
Right.
and you said you would never sell it.
Yeah.
So, like, what am I supposed to do with that information?
Right.
You are now selling my data you said you would never sell.
Yeah, I want to get into a few of the other documents that they have here.
The acceptable use policy.
So this one is confusing, but well, yeah, we could go here.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
good.
Yeah. So this is the acceptable use. So this means is this kind of like the terms of service or the EULA?
I think one of the other Firefox documents says that Firefox needs to be used according to these terms.
Okay, hold on one second. We're going to have to look at that. Oh, is that the...
Your use of Firefox, that's in this legal terms. I think that's this next one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so just search for in here...
Acceptable.
Your use of Firefox.
There we go.
Yes, there we go.
Okay, so this is very interesting. So flip here. Cut out some of that nonsense here.
Yep.
So this part is really interesting. This is like they're trying to like put behavioral stuff onto you, maybe. Let's look.
Yeah.
Your use of Firefox must follow Mozilla's acceptable use policy, and you agree to that you will not use Firefox to infringe anyone's rights or violate any applicable laws or regulations.
And so to be clear, this part is in their new terms of use.
Yeah.
So this part is all brand new, is my understanding.
Yeah.
I'm not a Firefox aficionado. Please don't sue us.
Yeah.
But like, this is my understanding that this whole section is all brand new,
Yep.
right? So this is now a new thing that they're saying.
Yes, the acceptable use thing is also, like, I believe that is new, right? We just read an article. This just dropped. All right. You may not use any of Mozilla's services to do anything illegal or otherwise that violates applicable law. Oh, which, by the way, that's good rule.
Good rule.
Good rule. Everyone
Makes
should have that.
sense. Yeah.
Threaten, harass, or violate the privacy rights of others.
Ironic.
Ironic. Tone deaf maybe is the better term.
I'd put that one lower in the list today, at least.
Send unsolicited communications or intercept, monitor, or modify communications not intended for you.
Fair.
Okay, that part, first part or second part, fair. Harm users such as by using viruses, spyware, or malware worms, Trojan horses, time bombs, or I don't know what a time bomb is, or any other such. Is that like I used uint32 to represent time, therefore it's going to blow up in the future?
I don't know.
Y2K, time bomb. Or let's see, any other such malicious codes or instructions.
I thought maybe, like, is that saying I can't download Electron?
I'm not allowed to use Jira because it's really a time bomb.
Dude, that thing is definitely harmful. It's harming users, dude.
I don't think you're allowed to have stand-ups.
Yeah. So, okay, so someone is pointing out here, but that is for surfaces. But what we're saying is can you go back to the one we were just on?
Yeah.
This says your use of Firefox must follow the acceptable use policy. That's what I don't understand.
Yes.
That sure seems like they're equating use of Firefox within Mozilla as like using a Mozilla service.
Yes. Yeah, well, you are using a Mozilla service by using Firefox. It is
You could say like, oh, they have like, they own Pocket or like other stuff. Like maybe they're, if I was reading this normally, I would be thinking, oh, I can't do this like on their servers.
Okay, yeah.
Right, but it's confusing because in their terms of use, they're saying, hey, you have to make sure you use Firefox in accordance to these. So that makes it seems like this applies to Firefox usage too.
I would assume this applies to Firefox usage.
Right.
All right. Deceive, mislead, defraud, phish, or commit or attempt to commit identity theft. Hey, I'm all for that
Good.
one. That one, okay, a good answer.
Yeah, good answer.
Not that people who would do any of these things would listen to an acceptable use policy.
Yeah. There's literally like swipe or no swiping. It's like swipe or no swiping. You say 3 times, he's got to stop. So if it's in here, the bad guys are like, dang, I got caught.
I guess I can't commit identity theft.
Yeah.
Better go to Brave. All right. Engage in or promote illegal gambling. Okay. Fair.
Some of these, like, it's already illegal. The first one covers this.
Yes. This one. Yeah. The first one already covers that one. Right. And also covers this one technically as well.
Yeah, because that would be illegal.
Or technically, I think all of these fall under this. It's illegal to do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Degrade, intimidate, incite violence against, or encourage prejudicial action against someone or a group based on age, gender, race, ethnicity, national origin, religion, sexual orientation, disability, geographic location, or other protected category. Exploit or harm children.
Well, so I have a question about that one. Like, are they the one before this? Exploit or harm children? Obviously bad. I don't have any questions.
Well, actually, no. I actually have some commentary on this one.
Okay, go for it.
I was gonna say, what about moms who upload TikToks of their kids or like
that
stuff
should
like
be
that?
Illegal.
I feel like that is
illegal.
actually exploiting people. Like, oh, check out how cute my kid is. They're actually using kids as a way to score points on the internet.
The TikTok families.
The
That's
TikTok
a big
families.
Yikes. That
So-
should be illegal.
So is that illegal now on Fire? Like, what does exploit
That
mean?
one would be the only W from today. Is like, we're gonna make TikTok moms illegal. And they're like, yes, give. Okay,
Yes,
you got
let's
it.
go. Let's go. Right? Like, completely agree. So, like, they don't say exploit because then it's obvious. Like, okay, yes. Bad. Very, very bad. But this one doesn't. By the way, Flip, remember, you got to bleep that word.
Yeah, I was like, you can't say that and get monetized on YouTube.
I know. So you got to bleep that word. Anyways, I think the obvious ones are obvious, but it's just like, what does this actually mean? I think it actually might be able. You could probably extend it to TikTok.
Yeah. The last one, degrade. So that's like the range of actions that Mozilla could decide do this are kind of like crazy.
Oh yeah, it's very nebulous. What does degrade mean?
Yeah, and I get why you would have that in your terms of use for like your own websites and stuff. It's just weird if this is part of how people have to use the browser.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting term because I'm trying to think of like does that mean you can never call a place bad? So I cannot say China bad.
Or Ohio bad,
Or
even though
Ohio.
it's a generally established fact.
It's a generally established fact that Ohio is not as awesome as the rest of America.
Yeah.
And
Still better than Europe.
still better than Europe, but not as good. And we just degraded 2 locations in a single, like that one sentence was a double degrade.
I'm so fired from FireFox.
You are absolutely fired. All right, sell, purchase, or advertise illegal or controlled products via services. I mean, that's illegal.
Once again, illegal.
Yeah, that term first, already done. Let's see, upload, download, transmit, display, or grant access to content that includes graphic depictions of... So are they making porn illegal?
Okay, based FireFox again.
Firefox.
Based FireFox again.
Let's go.
Okay, I'm back. We're so back. All right.
Don't-
They're making TikTok illegal and they're making,
Yeah.
explicit imagery illegal.
Let's
Based
go. Let's go.
Firefox.
Collect or harvest personally identifiable information without permission. Dude, so this is like them being super careful at this point because they're almost breaking this. And they might even be breaking it.
That's what it's like. To check on our different information for our Firefox data harvesting things, I have to open up Google Chrome.
Well, because like, imagine if they store things people say. You could reverse index into who said that by like a chance. Like it could be identifiable.
Yeah.
Right. This includes, but is not limited to, account names and email addresses. Engage in activity that interferes with or disrupts Mozilla services or products. I mean, that seems like a...
We're kind of disrupting their services right now.
I'm not doing it from Firefox.
Oh, we got him. Oh, dang,
dude.
we should have done this whole stream from Firefox. What
dude,
were we thinking?
If we would have gone from Firefox to do this, it would have been hilarious.
Oh, dang.
All right, let's see. Engage. Let's see. Hold on. Violate the copyright, trademark, patent, or other intellectual property rights of others.
Well, they're not doing that because they're saying that they have the rights to it. Because you're saying you grant it by agreeing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could also like beat up somebody and hold down their hand and make them sign a contract for me to give me rights to stuff that.
Well, that's a bad analogy. They're not actually doing that. Because I can continue to use a different browser.
You can but I mean, they're forcing you and then saying it's bad to do it for
Yeah, there is definitely some amount of
there's
irony, definitely.
Yeah.
Which isn't surprising given that they made Rust.
You know, they've been making authoritarian stuff for a while now.
Well, I was saying because iron and Rust.
No, that's not how Rust works. We all know it's the plant fungus, okay? It just is not.
Chat, come on, that was a good one.
It's not a good one. It's just not a good one. Violate any person's right of privacy or publicity.
that one is smart that they put that at the bottom. Most people are already tuned out before now.
This makes me happy. Is the service same as the browser? Oh, one would I only make the assumption the use of FireFox, right? Because that's
your use of FireFox. I don't know how else to interpret that except your use of Firefox must follow.
I can't really find a different way to read this sentence other than exactly what that is.
Yeah.
So yeah, is there anything else? Oh yeah, this is just how much money that they have made effectively from
like royalties and whatnot, which it seems at least 80% most years for the past several years.
Yeah.
The other one would be the privacy FAQ, which is there's a little bit of info in there. I can just send it in chat.
Yeah. Kind of crazy, huh?
Good.
How do they plan on enforcement of this? I have no idea. Especially, I mean, honestly, the one is actually pretty confusing. I'm not exactly sure what because I would assume that means, right?
That is definitely explicit imagery.
Yeah. By the way, again, Flip, make sure you blah, 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 that one. Yeah, because that is.
And then
upload or download, right? Like I mean, I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken, Firefox just became based. No. Yeah. Or yes, actually. All right. Let's see. Data privacy frequently asked question. Which one am I looking at?
I like the subtitle on this one at the very least.
We stand for people over profit.
That's there you go.
They really love that phrase.
They do love that phrase, yeah.
They love that phrase so much that they took it out in some places.
Here, this is the last one that we should talk about here.
All right.
Because this is...
So this was, about a half year ago? Or actually almost a full year.
Almost a year ago. Yep.
Introducing Anonym, raising the bar for privacy-preserving digital advertising. So they must have been, obviously the writing has been on the wall with Google going into these lawsuits. They've obviously been attempting to figure out this whole thing.
How to make enough money not to make a profit, but not so much that they can't be commercially viable.
Yeah, and by the way, if you don't know, not-for-profit simply means that they have to spend their money. Right, like there's not actually any like,
and it's not actually that they're literally not allowed to make more than they, but it's funnier when you say it that way.
It also means that doesn't mean that their C-suite isn't getting paid like an exorbitant amount, right? Like you have no idea.
I think their C-suite's getting paid a lot of money.
I know. I said it doesn't mean that their C-suite isn't being paid an exorbitant. Like
there were a lot of negatives.
There's a lot of negatives, but you can only say that it's negative to make sense, right?
That
like not for profit doesn't mean that they're like, that's it. Everybody, we're doing charity.
Yeah, and
no one's taking home money. We're just doing this for the good. Just like Sam Altman, we're in it for the love of the game.
For the love of the game.
For the love of the game, we're into this.
Yeah.
All right, so they have acquired Anonym, a trailblazer in privacy-preserving digital advertising.
And notice several times throughout the ToS and TOU, I suppose, that we've seen so far, they specifically call out privacy-preserving. They literally use the same phrase.
Yeah, okay.
Right, so this is this is kind of weird because Mozilla owns this.
Yep.
So they're like, well, we can be our own ad broker.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, I don't know. That seems like it to me, right?
Yeah. So this is probably, I assume this is just where they're going, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is they bought a company that specializes in this, and therefore, hey, Kat, can you be quiet, please? We're in the middle of something. Please.
It's important.
Please. I can't believe I named this cat Firefox. Well, okay. Is there anything actually interesting in here other than just the headline?
I mean, it's... Like hypothetically, right? The idea is that it is privacy preserving, but it is still user data.
It's still user data.
Right? Like it's not. Yeah. They have to get the data from somewhere. And then I did just think it was a little bit rich who the founders are, which you can see at the bottom.
Okay, who's the founders? All right, let's see. About Anonym. Anonym was founded in 2022 by former Meta executives. By the way, if there's one group of people that I know have my best interest at heart,
Truly anonymous data collection and responsible use.
2022 meta, peak meta when it came to responsible use and everything. Here's my just general thought,
Yep.
which is that at the end of the day, the pursuit of profits and all these like when anytime a company tries to stand on moral ground, I typically think it will always just end differently. And the reason being is that companies aren't moral themselves. Now, there may be some executives that actually really do believe it. They really do they really do, smell their own farts, whatever you call that phrase. The snake eats its own tail. They really believe that they're going to be able to make a difference and do something good. And perhaps some companies actually do make something good. Maybe FireFox at one point really was about going against the man. Hey, we really don't want to sell people's data. Hey, we really shouldn't have internet that way. And I actually agree with them. But the reality is people also don't want to pay for every single product they use. And so the only reasonable in-between is that you have to sell something for any of these services.
Something.
You have to sell something for any of these services to make sense, right? Like not everybody, like literally 1 billion people or whatever use X.
Yeah.
So at some point they have to sell something
for
them to be able to continue X or any of these sites. And so like I get the advertisement play, but the thing that I think makes me the most upset is when companies try to like morally high ground people and then they completely go down on their moral high ground, but then still try to keep selling. Actually, no, it is definitely, trust us, we're still very moral.
Right.
We just gave up our previous promises, which means they never broke. Like, so why would I ever trust your new promises that it's only privacy protected. It's only under these conditions. We're never going to break this promise this time. Yeah. Trust us. This is the line we will never cross. I know we've crossed our previous line we'd never cross, but now we will never cross this one.
Yeah, I do think as well, if you have to do something like this, you need to just come out and say, hey, before we found a way to make the company viable without selling ads. And it was by having Google as the default search engine.
Which they sold ads.
But still, it's like, it was your choice. You could just easily switch from a different one. It was literally like one click, right? So... And so you'd be like, and now that's getting taken away. We have to find a different thing. So just like be upfront.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, so we're doing everything we can to do it in a privacy-focused way that no one else is doing. Here's how we're doing it. Here's exactly what we're going to sell. Here's exactly how we're going to do it. Here's exactly what we're going to feed. Instead, it's like, we'll put it in a diff and silently remove that we aren't that we were going to start selling your data and putting stuff on the new tab and selling advertiser space there.
There'd be a lot. Yeah, you're right. If they were at least transparent about what they're doing, it would feel a little bit more like acceptable because I get it.
Yeah,
right?
The world is complicated. You thought that you'd be able to do it, and then you couldn't. That's okay. Yeah. They're like, that's life, dude.
Would anyone would have thought in 2014 or whenever they decided to start doing like this? I'm not sure when this terms of service came out and all these fancy phrases came out, but it theoretically came out in 2007. It came out way earlier. Who knows?
Yeah.
They thought they could do this. And no one thought, okay, in 20 years, a judge is going to rule that Google is an antitrust and therefore you will not be able to make revenue anymore.
Right.
Or at least the same percentage of revenue. Yeah. Maybe it cuts in half. Maybe who knows where it goes.
Yeah.
They might even still make the same revenue.
Right. I mean, you might still choose not to use them, but at least then, I just feel like that's the honorable move.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't know if that'll even make it in the YouTube
It's video. Always the same story every single time. Like when Unity changed their stuff, they tried to make it like why it's good for developers that you're paying more.
Yeah.
And then when they royally screwed up and they started losing a bunch and a year later they changed everything, they once again said, this is why it's good for developers to change. Like instead of just being like, we screwed up, if only we would have done it. It's crazy how much people would forgive a company that just owns it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is why I like companies that make money and that I can pay.
Yeah.
Like this is why I like JetBrains more than VS Code.
It's because the motivations are clear. Like why is Microsoft spending millions upon millions of dollars a year? There's a reason, you just don't know the reason.
Yeah. And JetBrains, the reason is I pay for a thing and they give me what I like. That's what I would want. Like if I wasn't going to use like a properly open source free distributed editor, which like VS Code is not, like then I would think about using JetBrains. Because it's like I pay money, I get a product. That's good. I like that. I like when people make money.
I do too because it's clear. At least the motivations are clear.
It's aligning incentives. I give them money, they give me a thing, and we both say thank you. Mm-hmm. Right? That's a win.
Because I get something that I'm happy about.
Win-win, boys. In game theory, we call that a win-win.
Not a zero-sum game.
When I walk into the room, I'd say that's a win-win. That's the biggest win-win we've ever seen. Frankly, no one wins like me. We're going to be tired of winning.
Unfortunately, FireFox is not tired of winning. They really
are tired of winning. They're never going to do it again.
They haven't been winning this whole time. All right, hey, the name is the never have,
Never will.
Again.